Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone. My name is Melinda Carter, many of you know, but I am the Impact Director here at the Columbus Urban League. We're so pleased to have you here this morning, and the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, of course, Mayor Ginther, and welcome you to the HEC, and hope that you'll come back and take part in the impact services. We provide minority counseling services, certification services to minority and small-owned businesses in this county and 17 other regions. We're funded by the Ohio Development Agency and supported very much so by the City of Columbus. Thank you very much, City of Columbus, and also Franklin County. So we serve many minority businesses, small businesses, emerging businesses across this region, and we look forward to continuing to do so. I'm excited again that you, the mayor, would ask to come and share the report, and Damita, Director Brown, the inclusion report, as you all know, is near and dear to my heart as well. So with that, again, welcome. If there's anything that we can be of service here at the Minority Business Assistance Center, we'll be glad to do that. And with, I'll let the person of the hour I know you're waiting to hear from, Mayor Ginther. Please come and thank you so much for your leadership. Please.
Good morning. What a great morning in the city of Columbus. It might be overcast and a little rainy outside, but nothing but sunshine and bright futures are we talking about here today. I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you to Melinda and President Hightower of the Urban League for letting us come over and share some important news and updates with the community. But so happy to see the incredible turnout from the community about an issue that we as a city, as a community, have made some great progress in. But today is a day to celebrate and share, but also to recommit to this work, because we know we have so much more work to do. Since I took office almost 3 years ago, I've been consistent in my priorities to make Columbus America's opportunity city. I wanted us to, my vision with that is that we become the largest middle class of any city our size in the country, and the nation's capital for upward mobility, a place you're more likely to move from poverty to the middle class and beyond here more than anywhere else in America. So we focused our attention on our budget on creating an affordable city with dynamic, inclusive growth and mixed income neighborhoods that promote and support family stability. Family stability is what makes neighborhoods great, and great neighborhoods make for a great city. We've also been focusing on mobility that provides equity and improves the quality of life for all of our residents. I've placed a very high standard for the role of diversity and inclusion at the city, pushing for stronger recruitment strategies and tasking leadership to champion the value of diversity. Because as we all know, we cannot become America's opportunity city if we don't first become America's equal opportunity city. Friends, there are so many parts of our history that have led us to where we are today. You and I don't need to own and take responsibility for the decisions of our parents and grandparents, but we do need to acknowledge them and address them and speak truth in order for this community to reconcile and move forward together. We've had some successes. As one of the largest employers in the city of Columbus in recruiting and hiring workers that reflect the beautiful diversity of this city. You can see some of the stories of our employees on the posters put around the room today. These great photos and stories will be hung in city offices around the community. We want to become, and are challenging our public, private, and nonprofit employers as well, to become the diverse employers of choice in this community. Through outreach and engagement, we also want to increase the diverse pool of suppliers who compete for city contracting opportunities. An important part of this work will include the completion of the disparity study, which will help us to begin to form policies and procedures to help increase supplier diversity. But we've not been waiting for the results of the study to continue to move forward. In order to continue to build momentum and trust, you have to commit and push yourself while we wait on that disparity study that should be finalized in the coming months. And we've got some great news to share. As many of you know, in 2017, we saw a 50% increase in city spending with minority and women-owned businesses. In 2018, we saw another 24% increase over 2017. 15.58% of our contracts last year were awarded to minority and female-owned businesses. That's something we can all celebrate and be proud of. Director Brown will provide more specifics about the study and some of the other accomplishments of the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. I'm excited about the direction the office is going, but we still have so much work to do. I'm really proud of our cabinet. Director Brown and I talk about diversity and inclusion all the time, and our goal and vision is to embed diversity and inclusion into the culture of the city. And then, by using the office of the mayor, embedding it into our culture as a community. Not a box you check at the end of a process, but a lens in which you look through to solve your most pressing challenges and leverage for greater opportunities. We wouldn't be here today without the incredible commitment of my cabinet. So if there are directors or deputy directors in the room, would you just raise your hand so we can celebrate you? Let me be clear, my commitment to the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, my commitment to the completion of the disparity study and implementing the recommendations for continued change, 15.58% is good. Not good enough. Not good enough for America's opportunity city. My commitment is to creating more opportunities for small and minority businesses in our city is unwavering. But we don't just rest there. As many of you have heard me say before, my goal is to make sure that the subcontractors of today are the primes of tomorrow. And that's where our continued work and effort needs to lie. It is now my pleasure to introduce one of our great champions in this community and certainly within my administration for this work. Please welcome Director Damita Brown.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Mayor, for your continued leadership and support of this work that we do around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And thank you for not allowing us to settle for just being good enough. But rather you push the entire team across the city of Columbus and other leaders throughout our community to accomplish so much more as it relates to diversity and inclusion. Thank you to our gracious host, Melinda Carter, my friend and colleague and mentor, and your entire staff for hosting us in this beautiful facility that touches the lives of so many people around our community and impacts them for the better, so that they are able to fulfill their lifelong goals and objectives around employment and business success. Lastly, I want to thank my colleagues in Cabinet. While I get the opportunity or the privilege to share this information today, it is really about each and every one of you. Through your leadership and commitment at various levels throughout your departments, we're here today and able to share in the successes that you all have accomplished in each of your departments. This is not an Office of Diversity and Inclusion and Initiative, but yet we each own that responsibility, and you have taken that charge and allowed the city to do so many things with relation to this important objective. And so I salute and appreciate each and every one of you, and I am so thrilled and honored to do this work alongside of each of you every single day to ensure that we're advancing diversity and inclusion. I came to work for the City of Columbus back at the end of 2016. By that point, the Office of Diversity and Inclusion had already been established and a Chief Diversity Officer appointed. The disparity study was nearing the final stages of its selection process, and planning for the statewide Ohio Municipalities Business Conference was well underway. It was clear to me very early on that our mayor was very committed to a different level of engagement with our community. The phrase of making Columbus America's equal opportunity city was the reverberating theme at the time. Well, today's launch of the Inclusion Report is the physical manifestation of our leaders' vision for our city. In 3 short years, we have impacted the lives of business owners and job seekers in countless ways. From our continued growth in contracting with minority and women-owned businesses, to the extensive recruitment of women and people of color in various roles throughout the city, opportunity is on the rise. Our city leaders have forged partnerships at various levels within the community to drive opportunities for our diverse communities. While I hope each and every one of you will take a look at the report and really digest it, I wanted to just highlight a few things that come out of that report. First, with our partners with Department of Human Resources, more than 3,600 employees have been trained in diversity, inclusion, and cultural competence. That's something to celebrate. By way of anecdote, I spent the weekend in Chicago with chief diversity officers from public organizations from all around the country. When I was able to share that statistic alone, many of them commented that that is something that just doesn't happen in the public sector. And so Columbus is really on the leading edge of making sure that diversity and inclusion is ingrained in the way in which we do business. In addition to the training, we've offered business development support through our office and our partnerships around the city to minority and women-owned companies to help them grow and develop their businesses. Throughout each of the departments, we've had aggressive minority business outreach. We've launched the Ohio Municipalities Business Conference, and we'll also be launching the Ohio Business Development Center Minority Plan Room. As many of you may know, there is an absence of a plan room within the city of Columbus, and the opportunities for minority businesses to have access to information that helps them to make their bids more competitive. In addition, that plan room will also provide certification support and training assistance that help them begin to become more competitive and more successful in contracting with minority businesses. With the city. We've continued to connect small minority companies to training and technical resources such as the MBAC, Women's Small Business Accelerator, and others. And we've also engaged upon ingenious recruitment and training and technical assistance strategies through both the Department of Public Safety and our Civil Service Commission around helping to really meet people where they are so that they can be successful in achieving their professional development goals. We've advanced pay equity for women across the city of Columbus. In addition, the work being done around housing and evictions, particularly as it relates to women, has been an incredible body of work that I hope many of you will pay attention to and become advocates for. Our New Americans Leadership Academy, fostering professional development for our newest members of the community and allowing them the opportunity to really fulfill their goals. Our partnerships with the Columbus City Schools and the Public Safety Pathways Program, providing exposure and opportunities for students of color to engage in opportunities for career advancement or careers in public safety. We've seen the most diverse class of cadets in our fire program as well. Our LGBTQ advocacy work, particularly around policy, which is above what we see at the state level, and our wellness initiatives, making sure that we're taking care of the most vulnerable in our community. And our response to the opioid epidemic, particularly as it addresses the intersections of race and communities of color and how we impact this growing issue that impacts us all. And we're not done yet. As the mayor mentioned, later this summer, we'll be releasing the results of the disparity study. While the disparity study provides a benchmark for where we've been, it also gives us an opportunity to create the roadmap for where we go in the future. It provides valuable information and data that helps us to continue on the trajectory that we're on. We've already begun to pave the pathway for this work around equity, and with your help and with your partnership, we will continue to do so. So we ask that you continue to look for the results of that study later this summer. In addition to that, mark your calendars, October 1st and 2nd. We will be hosting the Small Business Conference and Expo. Again, this is an opportunity for us to reach out to our small minority women-owned businesses and provide the level of professional development and networking opportunities they need to be successful. These are just a sampling of some of the things that you will see in the inclusion report. I encourage you to read it. As we look to the future, we understand that we can't do this work in isolation, but it takes each and every person in this room to have a commitment and drive towards diversity and inclusion and equity. As I close, I'd like to invite Bhakti Banya from BBCO Design, who is a small business that we've had the pleasure of working with over the last couple of years. I'd like for her to just come and share a little bit about her experience in working with the office, her success in working with the City of Columbus, and what the future holds in terms of her business and small businesses across the city. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Bhakti to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Ginther and Director Brown, for inviting me to speak today. I really just wanted to talk a little bit to everything really that they have outlined and I have actually been through. And so I figured I could kind of walk you through the process that I've been through. So about 3 years ago, I was introduced as a small business owner to a group where the city had a panel that they kind of interviewed me and gave us, as a firm, an analysis of our company and really kind of a direction on where we wanted to go and then what they recommended we do. As part of that program that we were really fortunate to be in, they also introduced us to various departments within the city. And for a small company like me, you know, women-owned, minority business, it's really hard to get into larger projects. So for us, you know, that smaller introduction into smaller projects to start is really kind of that critical piece that gets us going into, you know, bigger and better things. So with that introduction, we were introduced to the Department of Finance and Management, as well as the Department of Recreation and Parks with the city. And once we were introduced, I have to say the process is very well thought out and organized. It is very transparent once you're within the system and you understand how to navigate it. And with that, we have had success. We were able to get, you know, like I said, smaller projects with the city. Everybody that we have worked with within the departments have just been amazing to work with. You know, they understand that, you know, these are some of the first projects we're doing with the city. So they are very helpful, and also the process is really, like I said, very transparent, and everybody's really willing to help. We have enjoyed working with the people as well as with the departments and the directors. And you know, when Mayor Ginther said that this is the Opportunity City, I feel fortunate that I am here in this Opportunity City, and I'm really looking forward. We're, you know, an 8-person firm right now, but obviously we're looking to grow with all of the projects that we're doing with the city and outside, and we're looking to help make this really the Opportunity City that you were looking to make it. So thank you again for it, and love being a part of the process.
There's one other thing, when you have a great room like this, and you're the mayor, and you forgot to talk about something, you want to come back up and just say a word about it. And especially a room like this, one of the things that Damita mentioned that I challenge our safety director with is doubling the number of minorities and women in the Division of Police and Fire over the next decade. It's a pretty ambitious, daunting goal, but as my staff will tell you, that's kind of how we roll. We need your help. And we've created cadet programs, both, it's already started in the Division of Fire, met some of the outstanding young cadets down at the Fire Academy last week, starting in police. But for those of you in the community, continuing to encourage candidates of color and women to consider the cadet program and careers in law enforcement and firefighting. We are really dispelling this myth, this bogus jargon out there that you have to choose between diversity and excellence. We know that's bogus, and we are proving it wrong every day. The last 2 police and fire classes that we graduated were the highest performing in the division's histories, both police and fire, and the most diverse. But the only way we continue that is with your help and support and encouraging younger men and younger women to consider those careers and getting in those cadet programs. Those cadet programs are going to be incredible pipelines for the Division of Police and Fire, and the only way we're going to reach that goal over the next 10 years is with your help. So at this point, I'll bring Melinda back up to close us out.
I tell you, I've been a little bit discombobulated today, but one thing I did forget, and the mayor so graciously reminded me when he mentioned my president, Stephanie Hightower. She's not here today, and she wanted to be, but unfortunately she's out of town, and she didn't know this was scheduled after plans had been made. But I'm sure, certainly on behalf of the Urban League, I'd like to welcome everyone and tell you that we would love to have you look at our programs and things we do here at the Urban League. Again, it's been a privilege to host this morning, and it's been a privilege to work with Damita and others, and we look forward to doing whatever we can at the Impact to serve you. I want to make one more announcement, and that is we recently awarded our next grant period for the Impact last Friday, so we will be around for another 2 years. Thank you for all your support to everyone who supports the Impact and supports inclusion in this community. Thank you.
Thanks.
So the team and I will just sort of stick around. If there are questions or if you would like to have more information, we'll stick around and be available to talk. Thank you again for coming. We hope you all have a great day.